Hi, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Anders Haglund, and I have been a glider instructor for about 20 years. During a few clips, I will give my personal perspectives on flight safety issues that might make you a safe pilot. In this particular video, I will talk about the importance of the awareness when it comes to sudden and rapid weather changes during the winter in the north. This particular day that I will talk about began with beautiful weather, -4 degrees centigrades QNH 1025, light winds of 270 degrees at 7 knots, dew point -5 degrees and cover K. The weather forecast had nothing in it that gave any clue about changes before lunch. This particular flight begins 11 minutes after 11 o'clock. Before me there were 4 other aircraft that were taking off on runway 32 at Echo Sierra Sierra Delta. At this time there seemed to be light clouds at the middle and high altitude, and the meteor report detected clouds on 6,000 feet in Borlänge. Right before start, one of the other pilots reported cloud base was about 2,000 feet north of the airport, around the same time when I gave full throttle on my aircraft. During a takeoff in a typhoon, there are a lot of chores that has to be done, which make the workload high for the first few minutes. When everything had settled down, my gears were in and my flaps were in the right position, I find myself at about 500 feet AGL and looking northwest towards Borlänge town. A few seconds later, I was trying to locate one of my flying friends when all of a sudden I find myself in the cloud base. And as I turned, all of a sudden I was in the cloud at around 700 feet. At this time, I am trying to reduce power to descend. This only takes a few seconds, but during that time, you are, as a VFR pilot, very fast getting disorientated. Luckily, I was able to descend out of the clouds and getting a good horizon to use as a reference. During the turnback, for landing on runway 14, with a tailwind, another aircraft reported downwind for 32 and had very bad visibility. That made me change my plans, and instead of going runway 14, I was pointed downwind for 32. At this time, another of the 4 aircraft that started before me reported downwind with bad visibility and trouble knowing his position due to the poor to non-forward visibility. The Valentine Typhoon 17E2 has a Wortmann FX76 airfoil. That is a really sensible airfoil for dirt and other objects on the airfoil itself. And during this time I was getting more and more worried about the icing due to the massive moisture in the air mass. All of this made me wanting to get on the ground ASAP. When I was in the position for a right downwind on 3-2, the weather has deteriorated a lot more, and I had problem maintaining 600 feet without being in the clouds. At this point, the first of the aircraft on the left downwind had landed, but number 2 was still in the air, and he was struggling finding the way towards the runway. After about 2 minutes, he sent the message that he was lost. And this is on the downwind on his own home airport. The pilot himself has a lot of experience, as has been flying for more than 30 years, and he has been flying this particular aircraft on the exact same route for hundreds of times. At this time, my anxiety level are high. Here I have more than one problem to try to solve. 1 was getting my own aircraft on the ground as fast and safe as possible. Number 2 was getting my lost friend back on track so that he could find the way to the airport. After have asking my friend several times if he was in the pattern, and he responded negatively, I chose to report downwind. During the downwind, I had to slow down from about 170 km per hour to less than 120 to lower the gears. And that was a bit of a challenge due to the fact that the clouds at this time was lower than 450 AGL. I made a choice to land so that I could give my friend all of my attention and give him directions and advice. In the air, a lot of my mental resources was pointing towards getting my own aircraft on the ground and handling it in the clouds. At this time, my brain was working hard with thinking of the old but still valid statement A and C. Aviate, navigate and communicate. Alright, this was not an emergency, but it was very fast going towards that. And in the end, everybody was safe, and my friend that got lost found himself out of the clouds and down on the runway some 10 minutes later. This was really long 10 minutes, I can tell you. So, what did I learn from this experience? Well, 1. We should have used the information that actually was available. When you have high amount of mist in the air, the clouds might come very fast. It only takes a little change in pressure for the moist to condense, and that the pressure changes could actually come from the change in pressure around your own aircraft, so you could make your own clouds. 2. Always be sure that the weather isn't moving faster than you think or the weather forecast is predicting. 3. There are always the possibility not to take off. Stay on the ground and long for the skies, because the other way around is always less good. Number 4. When shit actually hit the fan, take time to think things through. And do you need to help a friend? Begin getting yourself in a safe spot. Otherwise, you might get yourself into more trouble than you can handle, and that none of you gets any good out of the situation at all. Last but not least, fly a lot, but fly safe. Thank you for watching.